Because since the democracy yafika, government wethu hasn't taken bold steps in developing. Sisathetha ngodolophu zaseLusikisiki ezazi nabo zazenziwe ngubani in which year. Why is government not saying, siya eMantlanini, siya eLambasi, we're starting a town there? Now we're saying we're a small business. Let's start with small business hubs in those areas. But then this is not possible if the infrastructure, the access to those areas is terrible. We're talking about tourism development. Someone mentioned Makwa. Someone mentioned Majola. But how is the access to those areas? You are expecting investors to come and invest in these areas, and yet government is not doing its part in terms of improving the infrastructure. The access to those areas is not good at all. Now we're saying that we appreciate the development that is happening of the N2 World Coast, which is the doing of the government. We appreciate and we are happy, we are excited about that development. But we need to complement that development with N2 law. So if you see eMantlanini uya ku-N2, uzosuka uhambe edakeni uyotofika ku-N2 uyokugcwela udaka. Now we're saying that if you look at those roads, they will tell you that it's provincial roads. It's not local municipal roads. It's not district municipality. Then if the district development model is one tool for the planning between the spheres of government, when is the spheres of government sitting down, discussing about the development in those areas where infrastructure development is key? If you look at our region is agricultural. It's got a great agricultural potential, but it remains a potential. It remains a potential because there is no proper support of the local farmers and local business people in the sphere of agriculture. We should be a food basket as this region, but we are not because of the lack or the minimum support that is given to the local farmers. Now we're saying, let us help these small farmers to be at a level where they can produce for the whole country. Now you've got N2 that is coming in our area, which will then assist them in trying to transport this produce to the rest of the country. But they need to be at a level where they can support the rest of the country with the produce. One of the key sectors that should be at the center of our local economic development is tourism. If you look at the landscape of this region, you can compare it with Mpumalanga if you like. The only difference is the development part. Otherwise, we have a very beautiful land if you drive across the wild coast. But the problem is the access to these areas. You've got people who are doing ITO operating here in the wild coast. But the issue remains the access because the infrastructure is terrible. Deputy President, we have a program in our region, which is the N2 Wild Coast program. I think in my lifetime, I won't say something like of that magnitude in this region. We're talking billions and billions. And we're thinking that there's a lot of issues around the social facilitation in that program. Because we do not want a situation where what happened to Bizana in our time of leading in this area was terrible. Whether you are leading in business, whether you are leading in politics, whether you are leading in whatever sphere, it is terrible. It reflects bad on us as leaders to allow a project that is meant to improve our livelihoods to then be allowed to buy at one point, I think it was 1.6 billion when it left, when the contractors left. But when the contractors came, it's at 4 billion. Now, even today, there are issues in those communities. So we're saying that there must be improvement of social facilities around this development we want, this program we want. It cannot be that it will be, and abantu abayimoshayo, it must be dealt with them, the issues must be dealt with. So those are the issues issue of cannabis. Deputy President, as I sit down, the time is not enough. There's a lot of issues. Sinama farmer, alimenta, cannabis. We want these people to get permits or licenses. We want them to be assisted because they spent years working on cannabis, and then when cannabis is legalized, or at least there is some legal expert around it, they are not given a chance. So we're saying, Deputy President, we want these kind of sessions, and even to the district municipality, we're saying, the DTM that you are showing here, we would love to have an opportunity to sit, to look at it closely, and also then to comment on it. Thank you very much.
Thank you very much. Mandixolise wethu ngokuphakama. Nje ndeva into yoba le nto ye-N2 Wild Coast Development ingathi seyichaze yonke ndacinga uba ke noba kuphela kwayo, kodwa ke we are saying i-presentations ezingagqitywanga, even ezigqityiweyo, let us have ii-copies zazo so that we make i-follow-ups ngokukhawuleza. Thank you very much. There's also a lady that has been invited to give a presentation on behalf of NAFCOC Eastern Cape. She's the chairperson of NAFCOC in the Eastern Cape. Surely some of the matters eseziraisiwe naye beziyipart ye-presentation yakhe, kodwa ke masimnikeze ithuba ngosisixwayita Zithuta. Over to you, madam.
Malibongwe. Gama lamakhosikazi. Thank you very much, Program Director, for giving me this opportunity. Let me greet our Honorable Deputy President, who saw it fit to come here today and to share this day with us as part of his outreach program, so that he can know better how we do business in the Eastern Cape and how we work with government and parastatals. Deputy ministers that are here, I've seen Mama Bam who were with us as NAFCOC last year when we were commemorating NAFCOC Women's event. Both of them with Deputy Minister Omama Utapa, not Deputy Minister Wabaditi IC. And they made a mark in NAFCOC women. After we met with them, our women were able to participate and to be assisted in their businesses. Thank you very much. The MCs that are here, all of them, our acting premier, everybody that is here, levels, Zabo, mayors, officials of government, everybody that is here, Amen. I'm standing here as a provincial chairperson of NAFCOC in the Eastern Cape. NAFCOC is an organized black business chamber which is celebrating 59 years in existence this year. It is a multi-sectoral chamber that is highly organized, very progressive and influential, and assisting members. It's an organized business chamber that is serving a presence in all 8 regions of the Eastern Cape. And it is a business chamber that has a mandate of assisting and supporting SMMEs so that their challenges of access to finance and access to markets, they are able to be mitigated. I am not going to be repeating what my colleagues have said. But enough to say, as NAVCOG, we are standing here with full mandate. We planned, we knew that we were going to be talking here. We were invited. All this has not taken us by surprise. As a result, program director, when we invited business chambers, I raised my hand because I came here knowing exactly what is it that I came here to do and what are the objectives that I want to meet. Let me start by showing appreciation to the Deputy President. We don't take this lightly. We are highly, highly appreciative. We know you have a very big schedule, but you saw it fit that you need to engage with us as business people in the Eastern Cape. And we hope that by you being here, our SMMEs will never be the same again. One of the speakers said, the previous presidents that were here left something, and by you being here, we have hope that our SMMEs are going to benefit. In fact, even the venue that is here, we appreciate it because the economy already by this event, it has grown, and there are some SMMEs that have benefited. I am going to just make high-level reflection, Deputy President, because my predecessors have said it all. Starting from the welcoming address, some of the things we wanted to say were covered. Presentation by Umeya, GDM and all that and the project, so that has been covered. And my colleague who was here also covered me. But suffice to say, during the State of the Nation address, our President, Deputy President, made an announcement that the request for proposals for 3,000 megawatts of gas power and 500 megawatts of battery storage will be released later this year. We can't wait to see that happening. Our SEZs are ready, wanting to participate in that because that is where our SMMEs will also benefit. And also one of the things that was mentioned by the President is the issue of the water. And as we know, like energy, water is very precious to us. And it contributes immensely towards socio-economic development of our nation. As NAVCOG, we welcomed the pronouncement that was made by our President, which was saying the closing date for the first of the second stage procurement on the Mzuvu water project was expected soon to happen after the SONA. And he further went on to pronounce that by September, something will be able to happen regarding that. Also, Deputy President, we want to commission you. We can't wait to see that happening because that is where we will also be participating. The pronouncement of 10 billion to support SMMEs was also made, and also the licensing of the Post Bank, which is going to be assisting our SMMEs. You know, Deputy President and mayors that are here, to illustrate and elaborate the influence that we have as NAVCOG when we engage with government, I want to make a testimony that the existence of the Small Business Development Ministry, it is existing because it's NAVCOG who engaged the president there to say we cannot be SMMEs and we do not have a minister that is looking at our challenges as SMMEs. And we managed to negotiate and put pressure. As a result, the ministry was created because of the influence of NAVCOG. Clap hands for NAVCOG. And also the existence of the LED directorates in municipality. That directorate never existed. It is existing now because NAFCOC said we need a directorate within the municipality that will be looking at the interests of business people, and that directorate will have to assist SMMEs. And as a result, the LED directorates were developed. Let's put it aside at the fact that are they doing the mandate that they were created to do? That is a story for another session.